Yes, it
Yeah.
seems like dire at the second, the first 5 minutes into the problem. But at some point, you have to step back and say, you know what? This too shall pass. I'm not going to uproot my entire day, my entire week, my entire month over this problem that I have zero control over. We have to
Especially
start
if it's
thinking
not
about,
you.
yeah, we have to start thinking about you cannot control anybody, anything at any time, period. So you just really have to take care of you.
Welcome to another week of the Health, Tech, and Wellness podcast. And today we're going to talk about one of the biggest walls in the way of our progress that nobody warns you about. But first, if you're new here, I'm John Adams, and I'm joined as always by Crystal Nevadale. And before we jump into this episode, speaking of walls, if you're watching on YouTube, I made a small update to my studio. Crystal, what do you think about just some of the updates I'm doing? I'm just trying to keep things fresh. Just like we talked about previously when, things kind of get into a lull and you just want to keep the freshness going. I was feeling like, hey, you know what? The black walls just weren't really doing it for me. And you constantly move your background because you really haven't settled into a studio spot yet. So I'm like, man, I need to change something up. So what do you think?
I love it. And it looks good. It looks like you can really see the Living 95 there. You can see your book actually even a little bit better than before. I feel like you can see it a little bit larger.
Awesome.
But it's so funny because I did the exact same thing today at work. I
Yeah.
literally tore everything out of my office and because I had a leak, and that's why we had a little bit of issue the other day recording. So I was like cleaning things, and when I look at it now, I'm like, gosh, how did I move around in that mess? I got rid of so much. So yeah, making it fresh and new makes, for me, I do that for creativity, because if I have a messy space, it's hard for me to create.
Yeah, I think anytime that, you're going along on a journey and you can continue to just, update something, buy something new, that topic that you talked about a couple episodes back with, celebrating those little wins by maybe doing something nice for yourself or just keeping the excitement and keeping that dopamine up, it really goes so far. And that's going to kind of lead us right into today's episode. Because think about this. When we start this process, and this is kind of a little rehash of our first episode together for season 2. But when we first start down a journey, that day one energy, right? We all love that day one energy. Now, getting started is the hard part because we're always plan. But then once we get started, that day one energy is amazing. The new gym shoes or the new piece of equipment, or if in your business, that first $500 of business that you've done, right? It feels like you're on a rocket ship. And then day 90 hits, right? We're a month and a half in recording these episodes. Things start to kind of hit a lull. Maybe, you're not seeing the comments you were expecting, or if you're on a weight loss journey, the scale really hasn't moved in 2 weeks, right? Productivity kind of flatlines at the business or whatever you're doing. And that new feeling is completely gone. And it starts to get to where now the excitement is waning and it's feeling like work, right? So what I kind of want to go into is when you get out of that new phase, right? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's your job, whether it's your health journey, I hate the word diet, but your diet, whatever it is, you get out of that new zone and you enter the boredom zone, right? And that's kind of where 90% of all these people just completely leave the race, because that's kind of where we've talked about this before. That's where the work really starts. So kind of what I want to open up with is that day one zone versus the day 90 zone, where the boredom's kind of kicking in or the excitement has kind of really fallen out. And going back into that dopamine that we were talking about, right? That's the biggest trap that we all have.
But the thing is you really just have to find things to keep it fresh and new. Like, take that energy into day 3, 4, 5, and 6. I want to give you an example about my life. Like when I was working out pretty heavily, when I would get tired of working out, then I would do things like rock climbing, go for a hike. I'd find someplace I've never been before so that it made it exciting. Like really all it is just trying to find the magic, creating the magic. If you could keep yourself interested, that's half the battle. And remember we talked about before about little wins, congratulating yourself, getting something out of it. It could be the same way keeping yourself excited, a new video that you want to watch or learn a
Mhm.
new skill or I mean it's so
Yeah.
easy to stay interested if you understand that the boredom will hit. So if you
Oh,
know it's
sure.
coming, find something to put in its place. Don't allow yourself to get bored.
Exactly. That's the key is, you know, it's so easy at the beginning because you're super excited. And then how do you not allow yourself to get to that boredom, right? And what you just said, that's the biggest piece is constantly thinking of those new things that you can do, that new little thing that you can buy, that new place you can go, the new hiking place, or in a relationship, that new rest, whatever it is, things that kind of just re-spark that excitement, right? So let's kind of talk about that. And because there's a huge psychology behind that. Think about this. When you first start anything, right? We've talked about the steps at the beginning, the planning phase. The reason why we never start anything, right, is because we're all addicted to planning. We're all addicted to that. "Ah, I'm so excited for this new car. I'm so excited for this new thing that I'm building, or I'm so excited to start this. I hate the word diet, but this diet because I'm thinking about the new me, and I'm going and I'm buying the shaker to make all my drinks in, and I'm going and I'm buying all this stuff. Oh, and I'm gonna prep salads, so let me go and buy all the containers to put my salads in, and we get all excited, and then we don't start. But then now let's pretend that you got past the starting motion and you're in the process now, and the dopamine's smacking you in the face. You're loving life. You're seeing progress. That first, if it is a weight loss plan, that first 5-10 pounds is coming off pretty quick off the scale because most of it's water weight. Maybe you cut out your sodas and that things that were, keeping the water weight on you. And then day 5, day 14, day 30, day 90 comes along, the scale stops moving, things stop going. And if you didn't think about what are some things that I can change when I get there, that's when this trap really hits you in the face because the dopamine is going to stop, right? And what's going to happen when you hit that plateau? And the progress, progress is not like a ramp. It's not just steady, straight up. It looks like a staircase. Sometimes it
Right.
looks like Mount Everest. You're going to go backwards sometimes. It's not that nice, smooth, flat line. So, what happens when that dopamine just stops firing? What's the next thing that happens? Your brain goes into fight or flight mode, it goes into defense mode. And if you're not producing dopamine, you're producing cortisol. And what is cortisol? It's going to push you towards those comfort things. And what are those comfort things? Usually not things that are going to be very productive for you. So we want to find a way in this episode to talk about getting out of that 90-day wall, that lull that we talk about. So in your fitness and your journey, you were talking about, going on those new hikes, going on new things like that. So I'm just going to put you on the spot. I haven't done that in a few episodes, so let me do it again for you. So I know life is going crazy for you. I know that you've been really busy with travel, just all things going on, and you've got this podcast. What are you doing personally? Like I just kind of added some walls. Are you doing anything personally that I know that you're excited still about the podcast, but maybe there's a lull getting in there for that. Well, oh man, this is becoming a headache. Is there anything that you're personally doing to kind of keep yourself excited that we can continue to build this?
So I'm gonna be honest with you, like the first, I don't know how many ever episodes we went through already. I'm extremely busy. I don't even have time to think about what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Um, this is the first time, take a peek, that I wrote notes. First time ever. Ever. And I thought I got to get on this bandwagon of being organized, but it's
Yes.
not me. It's
Yeah.
not me. But I
Yeah.
did it today. And
Good.
I'm going to try to keep doing that. And right now, my
Yeah.
life is too busy to
Yeah.
even have the space to have ideas, but I can
Yeah.
feel the shift happening.
Yeah.
I feel the shift happening, and I think that some new ideas are going to come.
Yeah.
But I think us getting a better rapport and
Mhm.
having more discussions are only going to
Yeah.
make it better, because we're going to understand
100%.
what the other person's perspective a little bit better and have the right questions to answer and bounce off of each other. So,
Yeah.
but I am making progress. It's the first time I printed them out, so I'm doing great.
No, and that's awesome. And that's kind of why I threw that at you, because you'd mentioned the notes, and I knew going into this, and this is why I'm so glad that you came on board and that you're still chugging along with this journey, because I think a lot of people are seeing some benefit from this. And I think that only as we continue to grow, you never know who's going to hear these episodes and the things that we're going through in our lives, things that we've been through, that we're currently going through, or things that we might go through in the future that we can talk to other people about, and they can really realize, you know what, I'm not in this alone. So that's why I kind of want to bring that out, because I knew going into this, we were starting at a really busy time of the year for you. You were coming out of the holiday season. You're going into some travel. So I knew that you were almost going to start out in the burnout phase. The excitement phase was all that was going to carry you through that burnout phase. So I think that's a perfect example of where we're at. And I just give you all the credit. I appreciate you coming on and coming down this journey, and just the people. And I'm hoping that, some of our listeners, maybe even people that know you personally that might listen, throw some comments in there and just, let Crystal know we really appreciate you coming on and being part of this.
Well, I
It's
think with
really been huge.
anything like this, though, it's really about consistency for the first 6 months or so. It's really not about perfection. It's about just
Yeah.
showing up. Even if none of your equipment works, you just show up. So that's where I'm at, John.
So,
But
think
isn't
about
that what we're learning? Isn't that what we're
That's
learning
it.
about?
That is living 95 in a nutshell. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency and showing up, even when it's just the smallest thing. Even when you can't give it 110%, you give it 5%, right? If you can't give it 5%, can I give it 1%? What can I give towards my progress today? So
I wanted to say something else too,
Yeah.
really quick before it loses my mind.
Yeah.
In all of my journeys, whether it be weight loss, whether it be my job, whether it be relationships, all the things. Something that I work on a lot with is my mindset, and I work on it's not pretending, because it's not really pretending. I just try to let the feeling inside of me be what I want the outcome to be, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, because I'm probably not
No.
articulating it properly. But like, if I want something, I get myself excited over wanting it, that my body almost thinks I've already got it. So it helps me stay excited about all the things. I mean, I've used that for the last 10 years of my life. And I know it sounds silly, but it really does work for me.
Yeah. There's a word for that, and the whole time you've been explaining it, I'm trying to remember what it is, but you're basically speaking it into existence. You're
Yeah, it's
creating
manifesting,
it.
basically.
Manifest destiny. And that is a huge technique that I think everybody can use, because here, it's the same way with the negative side of our lives, right? If all we concentrate on, okay, let's really get a little bit into some mental health things, but if all we're concentrating on is that negative side of things, guess what is going to happen next? Something more negative. And then now you're going to wake up and you're angry about that negativity. So now you're bringing in more negativity, and it's a big snowball. So what you just hit it on is perfect. Yeah, it's not, fake it till you make it, but it kind of is, right? If you think about happy things, you're thinking about the glass half full. Okay, yeah, this sucks, but on a positive note, here's where I'm at, or here's what's going on, or what's the good thing in this. Find the one good thing. That goes back to what we talked about way back when you first came on, and I've talked about it through this entire process of doing the podcast. In the journaling piece, you spoke about it almost immediately, right? End with gratitude. What's the one thing that you're happy for? That'll kind of quash some of that negative immediately. So like, I love that, what you just said, manifesting it, making it happen.
I've been working on that side of the mental side of it for a long time. There are a lot of mental techniques you can use to keep yourself going in the right direction. Like you just have to understand the law of attraction and all those things. But I think if people understood it a little bit better and didn't think it was just quacky, if they really understood the technique, they would be like, oh gosh, so it means I don't have to live like this. And we're like, yeah, no, you don't, but it takes a long time. I mean, I've been at least 5 years listening to a particular person over and over again. And a lot of the stuff I listen to over and over again, but it's helped me in so many aspects of my life. Health, wellness, family, relationships, all the things.
Yeah. We have to open up about things.
Yeah.
You just kind of hit it on the head. Yeah. People don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about that stress stuff because it's kind of taboo, right? Like you just said, everybody's like, that doesn't work. No, you don't understand what's going in my head.
Right.
You mentioned it when we first came on, my new little thing here, PS, you've got this, right? If we could all just think about it that way. I know it's not easy, right? I get that. There's people going through things, and at the moment that you're going through it, it's the worst thing in the world. But if we can just breathe.
But is it? Like I just was discussing with you some very private things that are going on in my life before we open this up.
Yeah.
Is it really that important? It seems like dire at the second, the first 5 minutes into the problem. But at some point you have to step back and say, you know what? This too shall pass. I'm not going to uproot my entire day, my entire week, my entire month over this problem that I have zero control over.
Zero. Especially if it's not you.
Yeah, we have to start thinking about, you cannot control anybody, anything at any time.
Yep.
Period. If you can't, it's all about yourself. So you just really have to take care of you.
Yeah. All you can control is what goes on up here. That's it.
Yes.
We talked about this, we both have some things going on, family wise. And I talked about, I don't mention names, but a person in my family that we were dealing with some crazy situations, and my mental space was all messed up. But what I had to do was think about this. Why am I letting this person live rent free in my head? Okay. Good, bad, or otherwise. Why? It doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. Now, everything kind of worked out, and, the hallelujah, it all worked out. But at the end of the day,
and it always does work out.
It does.
No matter what.
Right.
It either works out bad, good, something, but it always works out.
Right. And we all want to try to fix everybody else, right? We all want to. That's why I talked about it in one of the last couple episodes. This stupid thing right here. We open it up. Oh, Crystal, really? Did you really do that? Why do I care? Right. Why do I care? Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Stop worrying about the good, the bad, or now celebrate the good. Oh, wow. Oh, that is so awesome. They did. But if you're going to look at it and go, you really had to buy that new Porsche. Like, seriously, like, do you realize you don't have bills or something? Why do we think of it that way? But we all do.
None of your business, right? Just none of your business.
It's none of your business. And if somebody comes to me and wants my opinion and says, hey, John, can you give me some advice on this? 100%. I'll tell you from my personal experience, I'm not. I said it before. I do not have a degree on my wall. Okay. I am not a trained psychologist. I am not a trained health guru. I'm lived experiences. So if you want to come to me and say, hey, John, can I ask you some advice on this? Or can you give me your thoughts? I'll feel free. That's what I'm here for. That's why we do this. Please feel free to reach out in the comments. My email is on there. That's why I'm doing this. But it is not my place, whether it be, yeah, okay, your kids and your spouse, it's a little different, but even that you can't control, right? But my point is, it's not my place to judge or could be concerned about anybody else's situation but my own. And if we can just, that is the biggest part of our burnout all through our entire lives, is because we get frustrated with where we're at. Then we see something else that makes us frustrated. And then we just continue to let that build up. And we just really, really need to just get out of that headspace and let ourselves think about ourselves. Because the moment I'll tell you straightforward, I look at social media, I post on social media, I, drive my friends and family crazy with the podcast and with everything. But at the end of the day, Cindy will tell me something. She's like, oh, did you see this? No, I did.
So I got a funny saying, and maybe you have one too. Like when something comes across in front of me that is none of my business or makes me think indifferently, I go, not my circus, not my monkey.
My monkey.
I giggle and I walk away. Like I try not to let much get to me, because in my younger years, I did want to help other people like deal with their problems. Now I realized like I have zero control. Yes, I'm there for my friends and you can tell me what you want, but at the end of the day, everybody has to make their own decisions. Yes. We have to try to interject and try to make it our problem. Yeah. We're there for support for our friends, and that's it. It's not our problem, really.
So you said maybe I had one. I didn't have any of those sayings, the not my circus, not my monkey, but I stole it from you, and I've used it probably 6 times since then, and I'll tell you why. So most people know that listen to this, I drive rideshare. And I pick up random people, taking them to the airport, taking them to work, taking them to doctor's appointment, whatever. And I pick up people from all walks of life. I don't think about, who am I picking up or where I'm picking up, but then people get in my car. And sometimes I feel like because I'm not their relative, they don't know me personally. Sometimes they treat me like the bartender or the therapist or the barber, they just open up, right?
Right.
So I do not get political with people in my car ever. Because I just don't know where they might stand versus where I stand. And a lot of times, especially when it comes to politics, even if they're talking something that I agree with, I won't agree because you don't know. Maybe they're just testing you. Maybe they think the opposite side and they're just wanting to see if how you feel, right? So at least 6 times since you've given me that little, not my circus, not my monkey, I've used it. I've had people get in my car and just start going off on something in the news, political. And I've said it. I'm like, look, you know what? Not my circus, not my monkey. I don't even look at it, So, and I get a little laugh out of them, and they give me credit for it at the end of the day because it's the truth. I don't care. So if I pick you up, if you hear my podcast and you happen to get in my car, I'm just telling you right now, not my circus, not my monkey. I don't care. If you want to open up about, you kicked the dog this morning, you want to vent, feel free. I'm going to listen to anything you got to tell me. You ain't going to get my opinion because my opinion don't matter. My opinion's like I don't want to cuss, but my opinion's like a rear end. It's like a butthole.
That's
right?
another good saying.
Yes. Opinions. We've all got them. They're like buttholes and they all stink, right? Who cares? It's not your place. So let's kind of go back into this because this kind of leads into all of this where you get started, you hit that plateau, now you're frustrated because you don't have it prepared. That burnout is kind of kicking in. Now you're seeing other people and you're getting frustrated with them. And here's another big one, right? So why do we get frustrated or get concerned at that point, at 90 days or at 6 months, when we hit that plateau, a lot of times it's because we see, going right back into what we're talking about, we see somebody else who's still succeeding. They're killing it. They're David Goggins. Nothing affects them. They're running ultra marathons on broken toes, right? You're not there yet. And you hit a plateau. And you see that little green-eyed monster comes flooding in, right? You get jealous. Why?
But why not use that for ammunition?
Use that for ammunition, right? Why worry about they're ahead of me, I'm never going to get there, so I'm going to quit? No. They're ahead of me. How do I get there? Right. Maybe it is step up a little bit more, right? I know we talk about the small things. I know we talk about little things here and there, but there is times, even myself included, where, you know what? Buck up, Buttercup. What you're doing right now is not working. You have to make some kind of an adjustment. Maybe it's, and I've said it before, I hate working out, but maybe it's an extra workout. Maybe it's crank up the incline on the treadmill a little bit. That's not a bad thing. Yes.
Hey, I wanted to ask you while we're on that really quick. Did you change your workout a little bit? Did you find a way to compete with yourself?
Yes. Adding the goals and writing it down and putting it in my journal and saying, hey, here's where I'm at. Here's what I did. I want to get to this next step. Kind of the same way with everything else. I kind of, once I started doing it, I realized I was just not
doing it here.
You were explaining it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was doing it here, but it wasn't on paper. It wasn't solid. Right?
You weren't able to look at it.
Right. So the moment I made it real, yes, 100%. So thank you for that. This is why I'm so glad that we brought you on and that you're bringing in so many more things. But that's the huge thing with this, right? The small, consistent wins are living 95, and that's what's going to keep you there. And doing it slowly, yes. But eventually you're going to hit that wall. And we all need to, I'm going to say it again, buck up, Buttercup. You got to step up. You have to, right? We can't hit that wall and go, guess what? It's getting boring. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'll just take a break, because you ain't going back to it. If you take that full break, you're not going to go back to it, because you're going to go, man, that felt kind of good. Do I really have to do this? You know what? I'll get on this. Oh, you know what? I only put on a pound. I'm good. It didn't hurt me, and I was killing myself and I'm not losing any weight. And I kind of went overboard today and I only put on, I'm okay. You don't need to quit to recover. You need to push through the quiet times, right? That's when we need to step up. That's when we need to give it that little bit of gas.
And sometimes just changing your routine at that point. Just change your routine. So I was thinking about that today. Like, so when I was back in my weight loss journey, I was doing, I'd go take a yoga class or just something different, a Pilates class that I never done, or belly dancing or whatever it was, just for something new to break the monotony of the constant doing the same exact thing. Yeah. So, I mean, that's always a good way to do it, is to change something, put some fun in, sprinkle a little fun here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes right back to, I love how this keeps kind of full circling, but that sprinkle some fun in it, change something up, anything that you need to do to get that excitement back, whether it's, step up your routine a little bit, or whether it's, push a little harder, or anything like you said, to go on a different hike, or just sprinkling in those small little things, adding some things to make your background feel a little fresher, or just whatever that happens to be, to keep you from that boredom from kicking in, keep that plateau from feeling like it's never going away. Because if you don't change anything, in your routine and you hit that plateau, it's just like at the very beginning. You had to make a small change at the beginning to get the thing started again. So
Right.
you make another change. Something has to change, or you're going to hit that plateau and you're going to be stuck forever, or quit and then go right back to what I did for almost 30 years of my life. Crash diet, lose a bunch of weight, get frustrated because I hit a plateau, or just the dopamine goes away because I'm, not doing anything anymore, and then quit everything, go right back to where I was, put it all back on, plus even more, get to 311 pounds, get to type 2 diabetes at 13.4 A1C, blood pressure at 200 something over 100 something, cholesterol in the 169s. I was a dead man walking because I didn't know how to adjust when the plateaus happened. I would crash, stop, go in reverse. With my job, eventually I'm going to reach out to my former boss and try to get him on one day with us, because with my job, I was the guy who had to do it all. I didn't know how to hand off anything. When it came to they call it trust but verify, give something to somebody and just trust that they're going to get it done, and then follow up and verify, right? Or the sandwich effect, right? Here's what I need you to do. Great job. Here's some more advice. I was terrible at that. For me, if I knew it needed to be get done, I did it, and I pushed through, and I burned myself out. Same thing there. Crash, stall, repeat, until finally I said, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. And I left. It took, and I wish that one day he would be listening to this podcast. It took me picking up the gentleman like a week in to driving rideshare, frustrated at my life, 311 pounds, miserable, hating the fact that I left a really good job, trying to fix my health, trying to fix my mental health, trying to fix everything. And him literally looking at me and go, John, stop dieting. It's not working for you. Find another way. Gave me a couple little kernels that got me on the path that I'm on. And if I didn't have that to get the algorithm working in my favor and to get on this path, and now almost 3.5 years, going up 4 years later, to be still down 111 pounds, yes, it fluctuates, 5, 10 pounds up and down, but to be here, I haven't went in that sharp reverse again. I'm speaking to myself right now when I'm talking about stepping up, right? Now, what's it going to take me to, I want it, my goal, I've said this before. I think I've only said it on the podcast once, and I'll say it again. My goal is, before I'm 50, I'm 47, before I'm 50, I want to be at 160 pounds, and I want to run a marathon, whether it's in Cleveland or wherever it's at. I got going on less than 3 years to get this thing done now, right? So I've got to tweak it a little bit, right? Find some more things to spark it up, step up the routines, use the goals to push things, because it took me 3 years to get down 111. That final 60, 70 pounds are going to take me even longer, right? So I got to push. If I don't, I'm never going to get there. So let's kind of go into kind of the brain.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, no, go into it, please. Yes.
Have you done a 5K or anything like that so far?
Crystal, I said it once and I'll say it again. I don't run. This is going to be, so I have to do something. Yes, I have to do something.
Well, you can't run a damn marathon if you don't run, honey.
Well, if I could turn the camera without messing it up, my treadmill's right there. I go on that. I'm working myself up to that. What I want to do, though, yes, I'm going to have to do, a quarter marathon or a half or something before that for sure. My goal,
but just
I've got to
do a
figure out.
5K. They're so small. You could do that with your eyes closed.
You're right. Put a dog behind me. I'll do it with my eyes closed.
No, you don't have to run. You don't have to run. You just walk it.
No,
but there's something. No.
When I do a 5K, I'm going to at least jog it.
Maybe they have a poker one or something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's all kinds of fun runs out there for different,
Yeah.
you know, might be a podcast run thing going on. I don't know.
Well, I think what I'm going to have to do, my cousin, his son, also does a podcast, but they are kind of really way. I mean, I'll send you theirs. They kind of talk what we talk. They're a lot younger than us. They're in their 20s, maybe 30 now. But they're beasts. They do talk a lot of positivity and stuff like that. But these guys, I mean, they're running 2 marathons a year. His son gets up and he runs forever. I think I'm just gonna have to tell him, like, dude, okay, what do I gotta pay you? We're gonna get on a routine. He's in South Carolina, so I might have to just get him on the phone every morning or whatever. But so I'm probably gonna. He has this thing that he calls. They're doing it right now, actually. The 75 hard. I don't know if I'm ready for 75 hard yet, but I think by next year when they do they call it DTI 50 or 75 hard, I'm probably going to jump into it. I don't think that that's something that maybe people that listen to us would be interested in. The people that we talk to, the people that I'm trying to serve the most are, I just want you to get off the couch. I want you to get up. I want you to start moving. I want you to make that first step.
But imagine giving them something fun.
Yeah.
And imagine them becoming a beast. Like, imagine that.
Yeah. It'd be great. It would be great.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. So
I
think that we have some things for us to grow into eventually, but I think that I'm going to reach out to them and just be like, so let me talk about your program for a minute, and we'll probably bring it up here and there on our podcast. I might even try to get them on one day just to kind of talk to us both. Maybe
well, you
do
should just
a
tell
collaboration.
Cindy. Just tell Cindy that we'll go with you guys and we'll do our first 5K together so that we could talk about it on the podcast, because I know we all can do it. We can all do it and we can all use it.
We're going to have to go out one day and have that discussion. I think that discussion is going to be a little tougher.
Cindy's going to want to smack me.
But we'll get there for sure. I think that it would be good for all of us 100%. Here we've talked about it and I said the same thing, the last couple episodes, we talked about it again, is using things to fire you up, man. I watch their podcast every week because again, they are young. They really have a fire behind them. And, it does. I use that as fire a lot because I'm like, man, okay, I'm 47, but Tommy, his dad is in his 50s. He's lost a ton of weight just because of his son's program and all the things that he's done.
Yeah.
And I think he had a surgery to get there to get him started, but I think he was putting weight back on after the surgery. So I might even get Tommy on one day just to talk because he's in our age bracket. He's older than both of us, but he's in our age bracket. And I think he could bring a lot to the discussion. Forward worker, rheumatoid arthritis throughout his entire body. So I think we'll have him on one day. I think I would love to. So
absolutely. Anybody to give some encouragement,
100%. And I think that's the biggest thing is we just need to keep that encouragement, keep those things. The whole topic behind this is keep that excitement. What can we do? Whether you're, trying to, salvage a relationship or start a business or lose weight, you have to keep those fun things, keep those little things that when you get stuck, how do you keep it going? Right.
You just have to stay engaged. Like you have to stay engaged with it.
Yeah, you have to. And that's one thing that I kind of helped me through this entire process is that piece, staying engaged, because there's days, and especially at the beginning, at 311 pounds, I've got arthritis in my knees from when I fell from the train. My elbow hurts. It hurt. I still have bad days. The other day I was working on the refrigerator, got up, my knee was killing me, but it's still so much better than it was then. Right. So I had all those excuses. Oh, my knees are killing me. I can't, what can I do today? Right. What's that micro win? What's that thing that I can keep this new identity that I'm trying to build alive? And that's where we need to keep this whole conversation going is, even on those days when things going on in our life, things are happening with the family, frustrations are going on, you kicked the dog, you stubbed your toe on the bed frame, the car doesn't start, whatever it is, what's the small thing? What's that one thing that I can do to keep the momentum going? Just that one. Maybe I can't do my 30 minutes of whatever. Maybe I can't send out my 10 emails that I want to send. Maybe I can't do my, 50 reps that I want to do. Whatever it is, what's the 5-minute version that I can do just so I can still say I won the day? I may not have done everything I wanted to do, but I still won the day. Don't lose the day. Whatever you do, you can lose the minute, you can lose whatever, but do not lose the day. I think that we need to use those frictions, use those things that are holding us back as fuel. I've talked about it, whether it's the naysayers or whatever that is, whatever you can use to fuel you. If it's a podcast that you listen to, if it's changing things up, whatever that is, take that friction and turn it into fuel. And when it feels hard, that's where growth is really starting, because that first little bit, that first easy part, there's no growth in that. That's the crash diet. That's the fad diet. That's the lose 10 pounds in 10-day thing. There's no growth in that. The growth really comes from those micro habits that you can build over time, that stay with you, that when you get up in the morning, you just automatically do them, because those are the small wins that are going to keep you going. So do you have a non-negotiable, Crystal, no matter how bad it's going? Doesn't have to be podcast, doesn't have to be diet, whatever. Just give me one non-negotiable, no matter how bad the day is going, that you're going to do no matter what.
Take all my vitamins, all my supplements. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I don't care if it turns in, usually it's the first thing I do when I get out of bed, in the first 20 minutes up. But if I don't do that, you can forget it.
Yeah.
That has to be done. And that makes me feel better. I be honest, I don't have a really good diet. I don't like a lot of foods. I don't like fish. So there are certain supplements that I have to take that really to keep me my healthiest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's non-negotiable 100%. And physical activity. So those are the two things. Physical activity is also non-negotiable. And that doesn't mean I have to do back springs across the living room floor. It means that I have to go outside or do a program on the television.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's throw this out there, because you're really good at making sure that you don't miss this stuff. So, the days got away from you, things are going bad, leak at the shop, everything's going crazy, and your bedtime, I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to throw out a random numbers. Let's say 9 p.m. and it's 8:59, and you haven't done your walk, you haven't done anything. Give me that moment. Have you ever been there? You probably haven't, because you're really good at making sure that you find those spaces. But
sometimes I give myself grace. Like if that happens, and I've been busy all day, and I put out fire after fire after fire, then I'm giving myself grace. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm going to realize, look, you've done enough physical and mental stress stuff today. It's maybe just a good idea to put your feet up and take a nap.
Yeah. No, and that's what I was fishing for right there. So yes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this in the next episode for next week, but yes, we don't want to talk about, well, there's always tomorrow, there's always Monday, I'll start over. But here's where we really fall into this biggest trap of burnout, when we truly, truly, truly forget to give ourselves grace.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm not talking about waking up in the morning and going, man, it's a bad day, and you're already saying, screw it, I'm going to give myself grace today, and I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm talking about you've went through your entire day, and it's just been battle after battle after battle after battle after battle, and then at the end of the day, you go, my non-negotiable, I got to get this done, and now you're going to burn yourself out even worse. You get to that end of the day, look, it's okay. You've won the day because you put
Right.
out a bunch of fires, you fought a bunch of battles, but don't let that first wall, that first fire, that first battle of the day be where
Ruin
you
the whole
decide.
day.
Yeah, don't let that be where you decide to give yourself grace, because that's just
Right.
an excuse. That's a cop out.
Right.
That's where I'm talking about buck up, buttercup.
Right.
You still have a whole day, but
Right.
at the end of the day, you've fought those battles. It's been one of those days. Grace. That's the biggest part of living 95, is understanding that it doesn't have to be perfect. You've
Right.
really won a lot of battles today. Take that break, breathe, stop. Here's your non-negotiable at the end before you go to bed. Breathe. That's it. There's your non-negotiable. Grace and breathing, no matter what. If the day has gotten that bad, but at the beginning of the day, I don't care what happens. It could seem like the worst thing in the world. Do not let that stop you. Have some patience with yourself at that moment. Breathe, get through that moment, and then get back into your routine. It doesn't have to be 100%. It could be modified, but get back into your routine.
Right.
Stop getting to the end of the day.
Sabotaging.
Yes. So, guys, this has been a really good conversation, and I think that we kind of really touched on some stuff that I think a lot of us really need. We've planted a lot of things. We've done what you've said, and we've put a few things out into the ether that we need to make happen. So for this week, for everybody listening to us, I kind of want to challenge everybody this week. It's really simple. I want you to stop tracking your results, and I want you to start tracking your effort. Are you still giving the effort at the end of the day? Did you let that first calamity of your day, that first wall, that first, oh, I got on the scale and it hasn't moved in 2 weeks, did you let that derail your entire day? Or did you still give some kind of effort towards your next thing? So what I'd like for everybody to do for your next 7 days, I want you to pick one habit, whether it's the breathing, whether it's the getting up and moving, whether it's whatever it is. This is personal for you, but I would like everybody to take over the next 7 days and pick one habit that no matter what the day is like, that you're not going to abandon no matter what. And I want you to, if you want to put it in the comments, I would love that. But write it in your journal, put it on a Post-it note, put it on your refrigerator, whatever that is, and have that one non-negotiable. If you don't have a non-negotiable, this is where you're going to make it. And if you already have one, I'd like you to think of something else. But find that one thing that no matter how this day goes, that you're going to make sure you do over the next 7 days. And then by the next episode, I would love for you to either go in these comments, or me and Crystal, we're both on Facebook, our social media, tag us and just say, hey, here's what I did, here's how it played out, or throw it in the comments. But we would love to be there to kind of push you on, cheer with you, celebrate with you, and say, hey, congratulations, because I know you're all going to be able to do it. And if this episode helps you reframe your entire mindset on plateaus and the walls that we hit, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and just, like I said, leave a comment. Just let us know that one habit. And if you don't want to leave the comment, go on to social media, tag me or Crystal, and just say, hey, we loved what you're talking about. Here's what I'm doing this week. Here's my one non-negotiable. And I would just love for us to just cheer you on and help bring on that growth for all of us. And before we go into the close here, Crystal, do you have anything else you want to throw into this episode?
Nope, just kick butt this week, folks.
Kick butt this week. I love it. So when you're feeling like you're just stuck in one of those plateaus and just everything's feeling heavy, sometimes you just need to change your scenery, right? So if you're out in Vermilion, Ohio, and you want to stop into Crystal's Treasure Box, it's the perfect place to reset when you have that 90-day lull, go in there and find something cool that you can just go, wow, okay, this is something new that's going to spark me, right? You might find something unique, maybe that piece that you can start a conversation with Crystal and maybe learn a few things, or just give you something to converse with your friends or family and go, wow, that's pretty cool. And if you're hitting that same plateau as a creator and you're just trying to kind of get past that quiet or that boredom spot where the technology grind is getting to you, Amplify, we specialize in helping you survive that slow season by building production systems that run even when your motivation doesn't. We handle the friction of the tech so you can stay focused on the 90% that actually counts and moves the needle forward for you. So as always, stay healthy, stay balanced, and keep driving forward. We'll see you next time.